Welcome, folks, to the Thomas Skip Karen basketball court on the campus of Durfee High School, Luke Urban Fieldhouse, for tonight's Big Three girls volleyball matchup. The 7-5 Lady Hilltoppers are playing host for the 12-1 Lady Whalers in what should be a fantastic match. Hello again, I am Brendan Kelly, and I am stepping in, pitch hitting for Evan Massoud, who is doing double duty tonight at boys soccer this afternoon, and again at football against Brockton. We have a big night for the Hilltoppers in all sports with a Big Three night. The Hilltoppers are 0-2 in the Big Three with two very close contested games. They are on their second time around, while the Whalers are also on their second time around at 2-0 and need one more win to at the very least clinch a share of the championship. The game was very close a couple weeks ago, and both the Whalers and the Hilltoppers had the week off. So it looks to be a very good matchup with two very experienced teams. We'll be back right after warm-ups and announcements here on Fred TV Sports. And hello and welcome back to the Luke Urban Fieldhouse for tonight's volleyball matchup. As stated before, this is not Evan Massoud, who is out at soccer and football. My name is Brendan Kelly, and to be quite honest, I'm living a childhood dream right now of being able to do the play-by-play and the color for a sporting event. This is definitely my first time, so bear with us on this ride. I have Jake Fitzgerald on the camera back there, so we're excited for our first time. Hopefully I get the invite back for another Big Three game. I'm the boys varsity volleyball coach at the high school, so this should be fun for tonight. The Hilltoppers, as stated before, are coming in with a record of 7-5. They're 0-2 in the Big Three, but both games were very, very close. A week ago against Brockton, Coach Boulia said, quote, it was probably one of the funnest games she's ever been a part of. Kelly's been coaching the varsity girls for the last 12 years as head coach, but has been involved in the program for close to 20 years as a player assistant. She was on my staff for years. So we're off tonight with New Bedford at the service line. Number 8, Nadia Naihemi Madri, who is a very talented player for the Hilltoppers, for the Whalers, with a good serve, and hit out of bounds is Janice Leo, number 14. You'll be hearing her name quite often tonight, as she's without a doubt one of the best players in the state. At the service line for the Hilltoppers is sophomore Celine Mayat, who has been one of the better players for the Hilltoppers all year, as she serves one deep out of bounds as the Whalers and the Hilltoppers trade points to start off. Number 22, Yarrowlee's Conception, a junior outside hitter, is deep on the service line and floats one through the middle. Gabby Strito with a good pass and a rocket hit from Barbara DeCunha Silva, a senior, the leading hitter on the Hilltoppers. Hilltoppers spread the ball out very well this year. Barbara may lead the team in kills, as we'll see tonight, but they do a good job of spreading the offense. A lot of weapons out there tonight. Emma Rezendi's setter out to fellow sophomore Sophie McDonald with a kill from the outside, and it's 2-2 early on. Into serve for the Hilltoppers, Jessie Haneen, number 4, another sophomore. The Hilltoppers have a good mix of upperclassmen and younger-classmen, so the Hilltoppers have done a great job the last 3 years of really changing the culture, and it looks like there's no signs of slowing down as 4 sophomores see significant playing time. Haneen with a good serve over the net, and Leo with the tip kill. Janice has a great reach over that net, and she's a very smart player. The University of Miami, Florida commit will definitely make the Hilltoppers work, as she's, as I've stated before, one of the best players in the state. And Barbara with a very, very good swipe off of a tough set for her first kill of the night. And the Hilltoppers and the Whalers are locked at 3-3. Fast-paced move in the first set. DeCunha Silva with a jump float right over for the ace. Barbara has a mixture of serves that you'll probably see tonight. She's a very good jump server. That one was a jump power float, and she does a good job of staying on her feet and kind of picking her spots. She does a very good job as Coach Bowie has given her instructions as where she wants that ball. And very good serve and out of bounds long for a 4-4, locked up. Janice Leo, number 14, at the back line right now to serve, which means you have to be aware of her in the back row. She gets up primarily most of these sets. Resendiz with a great get off of a tough pass, and the Hilltoppers dump it over and have the Whalers out of system. A good touch by McDonald and a carry for a 5-4 Whaler lead. The Hilltoppers jump well at the net. They don't have the height that the Whalers have, but athletically I would put them up against a lot of teams in the area. And Resendiz with another great get and a tough ball. Free ball to the Hilltoppers. And a touch at the net and a drop for a point in the Hilltoppers. Streeto is back to serve for the Hilltoppers, 5-5 early on in the match. Gabby Streeto, number 16, the libero, a fixture in the back row for the Hilltoppers the last 3 years, is just a solid player who does a good job on everything. A great leader, and she's kind of a big sister to a lot of the younger players these last couple of years. They look up to her, and a point for the Hilltoppers and an early 6-5 lead in the first set as Streeto goes back again. One of Streeto's strengths is she serves very far from the service line, which makes it a very tough ball to receive on the other end. Ball's up, and another spot, and long for the Hilltoppers. That is the third missed serve for the Hilltoppers early on in this set. If the Hilltoppers want to compete and, extend these rallies, they cannot be giving up serves, but I like the fact that they're starting off aggressive against the Hilltoppers. And Didi Della Rosa with a very loud kill to get the Hilltoppers back in front 7-6. And Adriana Fernandez, her junior, right side hitter, back into the match. Didi Della Rosa was a little bit of a late entry to the team, but has been an unbelievable spot. A transfer in. She's played a lot of volleyball in her life. She's very smart, as you can see there, where she reads the defense. And Naomi Madre with the kill. Naomi, and I apologize to those who listen if I mispronounce her name, has been a solid contributor for the Whalers the last couple of years. She provides that 1-2 punch with Leo at the net, and is a very, very good volleyball player. Does a lot of things right, does a lot of things well, and sometimes gets in the shadows of Janice as the Whalers put one into the net, and back and forth we go in this opening set. Didi back to serve. As I was stating before with Didi, Didi is a very solid all-around player, can pass, can serve, and as you saw before, does a really good job playing at the net. So she's been a valuable asset to the Hilltoppers, where she just got a great serve, and the setter's out of this situation. Tight on the net, and Mondry with the block. 8-8 we go. And we have a full rotation for the Whalers now, as DeCunha Silva with a good pass, short on the net, a left-handed tap. Up the middle, that's a great dig. If the Hilltoppers can get on top of her right away, we have a good opportunity. Barbara with a very good spot and a kill for Leo, her second of the night. When the Whalers are able to defend that well and get into their offense, that's a very, very tough player to block. The Hilltoppers have to contain her the best they can and, try and limit her touches. But when you're that great of a player, you're going to get a lot of touches. Streeto with the pass to Resendiz. DeCunha Silva with a little changeup. Ball is dug up by the Whalers. Setter's out. Fernandez with the beach set. And a push. The setter had to stay on the floor. Back over from the Whalers to the Hilltoppers. DeCunha Silva with the touch and the kill for her first kill of the night. And the Hilltoppers are around one rotation in game one. Set 1, 9-9. Maya on that back line, one of the 4 sophomore starters for the Hilltoppers. Started as a freshman. She tossed the ball up with a jump float. Whalers are in rotation and into the net on a tough set. The setter for the Whalers tonight is Nayeli Watts, a sophomore. This is her first game setting. The normal setter, Nelsie Molina, is out with an injury. She is day-to-day, according to coach. And the Hilltoppers and Whalers exchange pushes, a free ball over. Naya with a pretty good pass. McDonald with a miss hit, but will take it for the little roll. It's a hard single in the book if we're using baseball terminology. It is her second kill of the night for McDonald, who's done a great job stepping up. And Naya with an ace, and the Hilltoppers take a 12-9 lead early in set 1. The confidence looks very high from the Hilltoppers early going. They do not look intimidating, and that, I think, is half the battle when you're playing such a powerful team in New Bedford. Another jump serve and a very good pass in system. They go outside to Leo. Hilltoppers get a touch on it, and nobody home when the ball drops right now. But a good sign is getting your hands on that block on Leo, slowing the ball down. The Hilltoppers just had a mental error, which is very fixable. Concepcion on the back line now, her second time serving. Outside hitter junior. Leaves her feet. And an ace for Concepcion on a misplayed ball. That jump flow is a very trendy serve in volleyball. It goes over just over that tape, and a very tough ball to handle as the Whalers inch back now 12-11 as Concepcion's up with the jump float, and that ball is on the tape, and Leo with the block, her first of the game. If the Hilltoppers are going to put the ball on the tape, Leo's just going to tap that down for the block kill, and that's exactly what she did. Back and forth we go. 12-12. Concepcion, her third serve of this round. Deep into the zone. Streeto has a tough time handling it. Dacunia Silva with the left hand to try to swipe, and the Whalers are up 13-12. Been a very exciting first set as both teams seem to be feeling each other out. Both teams struggling in the serve-receive, but are being aggressive. Fourth serve. And that's another ace on this serve right here. And the Whalers are on a 5-0 run to take a 2-point lead in set 1. The momentum swings in volleyball are monumental, and this has the opportunity to be a big one here. Hilltoppers need to get out of this set, this rotation right here. And another ball having a tough time. The Hilltoppers try to be aggressive, and the ball goes into the net by McDonald, and we are now on a 6-0 run with a 3-point lead for the Whalers. Concepcion having a nice service run here for the Whalers. Deep into the zone. Hilltoppers are finally going to get an attack, and hit out of bounds by Dacunia Silva, and the run is 7-0 now for the Whalers, and Coach Kelly Bouya calls a timeout to try and slow down this Whaler attack right here. Those unfamiliar with volleyball, the momentum changes in volleyball can happen fast, and they can happen often. As I thought the Hilltoppers came out and did a very nice job with being aggressive despite the 3 missed serves. And in just one rotation, the Whalers are on a 7-0 run and have the Hilltoppers on their heels. 16-12, New Bedford in the first set of what I anticipate being a long match. Those that just joined us, this is not Evan Massoud. I'm Brendan Kelly, stepping in, pinch hitting for Evan. Evan is double duty tonight at boys soccer, who played this afternoon at 3:30 against New Bedford, and he's currently setting up for football, who also hosts a Big 3 conference fall in Brockton. So it's a busy day for the Hilltoppers as Big 3 all around. I'm Brendan Kelly, the head boys volleyball coach, phys ed teacher at Durfee High School. Having an opportunity to kind of live out a childhood dream of mine of being an announcer, play-by-play. So this is definitely my first time doing this, and I hope I'm doing a good job and giving you a good play-by-play and some color here for a Big 3 volleyball match. The timeout ended, and Concepcion is on the service line again. Hilltoppers need to get out of this rotation if they want to stop this bleeding that the Whalers are ensuing. The ball's up and sails out of bounds, which is good for the Hilltoppers. When I coach, we try to say never to miss a serve out of a timeout. Kelly Booya tried to ice her, slow down her momentum, did just that. Now the Durfee has to capitalize. Haneen on her second rotation in the back row. One of these sophomores who has seen significant playing time and high floater over the net. Concepcion with the set. Hilltoppers get their hands on it once again, but drops in front of them for a 17-13 Hilltopper lead. Nayeli Watts, a sophomore, on the service line. With the ball right to the 6, it's handled well by Strito and set high in the middle to McDonald, who hits it into the net for a point for the Whalers. Ball's up into the 6. Haneen handles the ball well, and the ball's pushed outside to Dacunia Silva, who gets a smash off the hands of Leo for the kill, her second of the set. When the Hilltoppers have an opportunity to be in their offense, they've got the weapons to go head-to-head with the Hilltoppers. They just got to be well on the serve receive. Dacunia Silva back for her second round on the service, and she floats one into the 6 zone that is handled very toughly by the Whalers and bounces out of bounds for the point for the Hilltoppers. New Bedford comes in at 12-1 and one of the best attacks in the state. A constant theme has been their serve receive and getting into their offense. For the Hilltoppers to be successful, they have to be aggressive in their serving, and the Whalers get called for an out of rotation. And Coach Martinez is confused, looking for an explanation. The point will go to the Hilltoppers, and no, it won't, as the confusion was on the side of the referees as a redo has been called, so that point will be taken off the board. Dacunia Silva back, looking at the opportunities, and sends one out of bounds. Tough momentum killer for Durfee. 18-16 or 19-15, that's the way it goes. Leo in the back, so if the Hilltoppers can get out of this rotation quick, they have an opportunity to attack at a more reasonable front line. The ball is perfectly passed by Strito, pushed outside, and a double hit is called on Resendiz. Those are usually the 50-50 calls that, you know, have changed as volleyball has evolved. Definitely was a ball that had some spin on it. Resendiz is tight on the net, and that ball will drop. And the Whalers seem to be pulling away now, 21-15, with Leo set to serve for her third time. Janice has really turned herself into an elite volleyball player. When she was a sophomore, she just played the front row. In the last couple of years, she's an all-around good player, thus the verbal commitment to the University of Miami. If a Division I school is coming to Massachusetts to look for a play, you got to know that this player is the real deal, and she is definitely the real deal as the Hilltoppers get the point. With Strito back to serve, 21-16 New Bedford. Set 1. Strito had a good service run her first time around. She serves very far back. Tough ball to receive, especially when it's got a lot of spin. Mishandled by the Whalers, and the Hilltoppers are going to get an out-of-system ball. Misplayed, and a free ball will go back over to the net. Whalers are going to go quick here. And we dug, but a kill by Mandry for the Whalers. New Bedford feasts off of free balls and can run a very, very quick offense, and that's exactly what they did with Mandry coming quick out of the middle for a very big spike kill for the Whalers. 22-16 with Tagney in the back. Sales went out of bounds. A lot of missed serves in the first set on both ways. I think it's a matter of both teams being aggressive and both teams trying to set a pace. Resendiz back to serve with a 5-point Whaler lead. Set 1, Resendiz, second-year setter, up in the air. Sends the ball over with some spin and an ace for Resendiz. Resendiz had the very hard job of being a true freshman setter, running an offense as a young freshman. Did a fantastic job, and there's another ace for Resendiz as the Hilltoppers are starting to get some momentum back into this set and put the Whalers on their heels. Resendiz up again, stays on the floor this time, where ball looked in from up here, but better eyes from up with the blue shirts, and the Whalers will get the ball back. As stated before, Resendiz started as a true freshman and has played every set as a sophomore and has done a tremendous job with being the setter for the Hilltoppers and really moving the ball and making sure her hitters get, good balls and fast offense to run with. 24-19, New Bedford, game point, set 1. And an ace for New Bedford as number 15, Grace Mitchell, with the ace. New Bedford takes set 1, 25-19, and a match that was close in the set that was close in the beginning, but New Bedford had a 7-0 run midway through the teens that really took a lot of momentum and had Durfee thinking. I thought Durfee did a great job of being aggressive out of the bat, but slowed down. Set 1 belongs to the Whalers. The teams will switch sides, and we will be right back at the start of set 2.
Soccer 1, tied. Tied. What was numbers? Can you hear me at all? No.
No, I mean, I can hear you speaking when the crowd's low, but... See if you're doing all right.
See.
You don't seem as nervous.
Huh?
You don't seem as nervous.
As what?
Well, because I can see, like, the levels.
Yeah. Well, I know the game of volleyball is so easy. The down ref called a out of rotation, but they weren't.
Still rolling.
And we're back for the start of set number 2 here at the Luke Urban Fieldhouse between the Durfee girls volleyball and New Bedford girls volleyball. Set 1 went to the Whalers, who had a very good run on the service line by Yarlis Concepcion midway through the first set. Both teams are starting the same way they started the game, with Durfee set to serve to start it off. The first set unofficial stats, Janice Leo had 2 kills and a block, and leading the Hilltoppers was Barbara DeCunha Silva with 2 and Sophie McDonald with 2. Definitely unofficial, as I've never been good with taking stats as the games are going on. Coach Bouya and I have been coaching together for a long time, and she's always been my stat person. And I have a lot of respect for those coaches who can stat and do their stats and coach at the same time. I've definitely not been one of those people. So to try and call the game and do the stats, I will give you my best. But unofficially, Leo and Barbara DeCunha Silva led their respective teams as expected. Didi De La Rosa up in the air for the start of set 2 and a free ball for the Hilltoppers. Streeto with a very good push to Resendiz, and DeCunha Silva with a good kill that was dug and looked like a net ball, but it was not. They're going to call touch on Mayat, and as I call it, chaotic ball ensued and was hit out of bounds by the Hilltoppers. Concepcion starting in the back for the Whalers. She was had a very good service run for New Bedford in game 1 as she leaves her feet and a ball that is passed relatively good. And DeCunha Silva with a smart push to the 4 for the kill, her 3rd of the match. The Whalers are coached today by Cheyenne Martinez, a former player on that 2009 state championship team. Longtime coach Neil Macedo not available today. So the Whalers are being coached by Martinez, and assistant coach, freshman coach Stephanie Houtman, another great Whaler in her own day on those very good 2008, 2007 teams. As the Hilltoppers are going quick out of the middle, and Leo with the block on a very well-run play by the Hilltoppers. But when you're going up against 6 foot plus, you have to go around the block, as both teams made very good plays, but a good block. Hilltoppers with a very good hit by McDonald out of the outside. Good touch at the net. Resendiz with the touch, and DeCunha with a very well-placed kill in the 4 again. She's finding the open spots and finding where the defense is not. She's gone there 2 times and go until they pick it up. So good job by Barbara. Good job by the Hilltoppers on slowing Leo down. Haneen in the back row. A defensive specialist to serve. Serves into the 6. Concepcion receives the ball, and very good dig by Streeto. The Hilltoppers will give a free ball over. The Whalers back to Leo, who hits into the net on a low set, and we're tied at 3 to stop. Very good dig by Streeto. Being in the volleyball game for a long time, one thing that I've noticed, if you can dig and touch and get, get to a big-time hitter and make them stop thinking, you have an opportunity to run your offense out of the defense. But when you get somebody who steps up on the other side, like Tagney just did, you have to be on top of everybody. Leo on the back to serve. Nahami Madri in the front, another great hitter. Streeto with the pass to the attack line. DeCunha Silva pushes over. Concepcion with the touch. Tagney with the touch. Good block at the net. And a stuff block from Mandry. And the Whalers take a 5-3 lead. The Hilltoppers are playing hard and definitely have a look that they feel as though they can compete and play with the Whalers, as Leo sends one into the net. It's about minimizing mistakes at this level of the season. Over the last 2 years, 3 years, the culture change in the girls volleyball program has been tremendous. Making the tournament for the first time in 10 years in 2016, making the tournament again last year, 2017, and well on their way to the tournament this year. They're starting to not only believe that they can compete with the likes of New Bedford and Brockton, but they're starting to compete with them. And you can see it in their actions, and you can see it in their movements on the floor. It's really refreshing to see. With the mix of young and old, you can really look at DeCunha Silva and Strito as two very important, as DeCunha Silva sends that ball out of bounds for a 6-5 lead. You can look at the two of them as two main cogs in the culture change. They've both been in the starting lineup for the last 3 years. They're both tremendous leaders. They lead not only by example, but they lead verbally. And you can really tell that they're looked up to by their teammates. And granted, they've had some very good teammates that can follow and do a good job, as he sends one out of bounds. Resendiz with a very good get and a tough play for McDonald at the net. But the leadership, I think, has been fantastic in the volleyball program the last 3 years, and it's refreshing to see, these type of games at this type of year where the compete level is high. Two big three teams. It's great to see. With Tagney in the back, Haneen pushes with her hands. McDonald into the net, and 3-0 run for Durfee right now after some momentum at the beginning of this match. Gemino Tagney is a true freshman for the Whalers, contributing at a young age as she's leaving her feet with that very solid serve to Strito, who pushes the ball behind the attack line with the kill by, looked like, Didi De La Rosa, who put it deep into the 5 on a cross-court kill. De La Rosa with her second kill of the night. Again, all stats are unofficial, as I've never been very good at being able to do stats and call a game or coach a game all at once. So if later on in this match I'm still saying one of these players only has 2 kills, you'll know why, and I lost track. But as of right now, 2 kills for De La Rosa, DeCunha Silva, and McDonald for the Hilltoppers. Strito with a good push pass outside. De La Rosa with her 3rd kill. This time with the left hand on a ball that was pushed deep towards the pin. And we're back at 7-7 with one of the Hilltoppers' strongest servers in the back, Gabby Strito, who's been in the libero position since her sophomore year. Good all-around player, can set a little bit, can hit a little bit, and is a very, very good server. As the Whalers passed well, De La Rosa with the dig, going back out to her again. Takes a little bit off this time, dug by the Whalers, pushed outside to Concepcion. Haneen with the dig. Whalers are a little out of system right now. They just dumped the ball over with a dig by Strito. Maya out of the middle. What a kill. Great job by the Hilltoppers withstanding that rally and attacking for 8-7 lead. Similar to set 1, we're back and forth early on. Hilltoppers are looking to take some momentum with them on this rotation. As Strito stepped back right now, you can see the confidence staring across the net. Looking at her spots as she receives direction from Coach Boulia. Strito taking her time with the dribble. Gonna hope they're gonna get a shot clock violation. Ball's thrown up, deep in, and that definitely landed for the ace. A very tough ball to handle for the Whalers, and a 2-point lead for Durfee early in the second set. As Strito steps back again. Looking across the net. Leo on the bench right now, so the main attack will come out of the front row for the Whalers. Strito really has to watch out for the shot clock violation. It's a 7 seconds in volleyball. Mishandled by the Whalers. We're going to get a free ball. And misplayed by the Hilltoppers into the net and out of bounds for a point for the Whalers. Those type of little mistakes are the things that need to get cleaned up if Durfee wants to pull some momentum and take a step away from the Whalers. As an ace for number 15, Grace Mitchell, defensive specialist senior for the Whalers. And just like that, we're back at 9. Mitchell over again, and the Hilltoppers misplay it. She's quick to their setter. To Madre in the middle. Dug by Haneen into the net, though, and 10-9. Mitchell is a very fast server. You'll notice she gets right to that line, and as soon as the whistle goes, she serves. Having coached against servers like that, it's very hard. De La Rosa with a cross-court swing. Misplayed by the Whalers, but off the net. Hilltoppers going quick to Maya, who swings and out of bounds. Mitchell gets to that line. The Hilltoppers have to get ready because as soon as that whistle's blown, she's going right over just like that. It's a big-time momentum crusher with Strito with the swing from the back, feet planted. Concepcion on the outside, touched by Maya, and just like that, the Whalers back up 12-9. Mitchell's going to pick that ball up, and she's going to serve right away. The whistle's blown, ball is up. Ball is handled by Strito, pushed outside, De La Rosa cross court, and hit out of bounds. And the momentum is starting to swing New Bedford's way, 13-9. Coach Bouya with a timeout. A different type of serve Grace Mitchell has. It's a very fast serve. She does not give the offense any time to think, especially if it's off of a misplay by the opposite team. They're thinking about that last play, and she's on the service line, and that ball's over, and it's over quick. And that's exactly what she's done right there. The defensive specialist for the Whalers. She's a senior, and she's given the Whalers a little run here in set two. Excuse me. As stated before, Coach Macedo, who is 33 years at the helm, 2 state championships, is not here. Is coached today by JV Coach Cheyenne Martinez, a Whaler alum, a Whaler volleyball alum, a 2011 graduate, member of that 2009 state championship team, and freshman coach and assistant coach today, Stephanie Houtman, great player in her own day in 2006, 2007. I coached against both of them when I was the women's coach at Somerset High School, and they were both fantastic players in their day. Bedford has a very strong tradition of girls volleyball, and they're living up to it again this year, 12-1 coming into today's game. Their only loss on the season last Friday at the hands of Dartmouth. Mitchell back, they serve into the one. Tacuna Silva sails one out of bounds on a ball that wasn't fully attacked by the Hilltoppers, and 14-9, things are starting to unravel here in set 2. Very, very similar script to, and the Whalers mocked out of rotation or stepped on the line. I'm not sure. I did not see the call. But luckily for Durfee, that was a momentum killer. And 14-10 with Resendiz back to the line. Resendiz, the setter, the main set of hands for the Hilltoppers. She's a sophomore. Has played every set the last 2 years. And she, with a jump float that I'm not sure she intended for it to be hit like that, but she banked it off the net for an ace. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's exactly what she was looking to do. In the air again, this time with a little more zip on it, and serves it right into the 6, and a double hit for the Whalers, and Durfee with a couple positives. The MO on New Bedford is to get them out of system and force them to play very good very good serves, as they've done right there. Push the ball outside to Conception. Dug by the Hilltoppers and attacked on the other end on very good transition for a 14-13 lead for the Whalers, with Durfee on a 3-0 run. With Resendiz back there, serving her 4th time. Up in the air she goes. This time, pushes it off to the 5. Whalers attacking. Resendiz with a great dig. Beach set by Fernandez. Set to Tacuna Silva, who hits the ball out of bounds again. A little too much. Hilltoppers have got to keep the ball in bounds. Force the Whalers to play defense on you, and transition on their own. Don't give them points on the way out. Leo in the front on the outside. She's been playing in the middle where the Whalers, and Naomi Madri hits the ball into the net for 15-14 back and forth. For second set we go. Didi De La Rosa, the senior outside hitter, up in the air with a very tough ball that sails out of bounds. And the Hilltoppers are being aggressive, and they're going at the Whalers on the service line. They're just a few inches out of bounds here and there. And unfortunately, with Rowley scoring, being aggressive sometimes can lead to points for the other team. As Concepcion is in the back, she's had a great first 2 sets for the Hilltoppers. Great pass. And D'Acunha Silva takes a little bit off, and off the pin, and back to the Hilltoppers it goes with Maya rotating in the back, and Sophie McDonald coming back into the front. McDonald, another one, the fourth, I believe I lost count, of the sophomores that see a significant amount of playing time. Made a great jump from freshman year to sophomore year as May hits the ball under the net. Has made a great jump from freshman year to sophomore year, learning the game to becoming a full-time starter. A very good jumper. She's obviously undersized in the middle, but makes up for a very good quickness in jumping as Streeto, yes, and Resendiz called for a carry, which was the right call. They tried to go quick on a flat pass, but ball was carried, and the Whalers back to the service line. McDonald makes up for it with being very quick and great jumping ability as the ball is ricocheted off of Leo's hands as D'Acunha Silva with a block and goes to that 4 spot again. Doug. Leo with a push. She hasn't swung much, and I'm not sure if she's not getting the sets, but she's playing well defensively as D'Acunha Silva also in the net on that tight ball. As stated earlier, Nayeli Watts is a sophomore setter making her first start. I think that has something to do with Leo not getting a ton of high-quality touches. It's very tough when you're used to one setter, and you got to make an adjustment on the fly as Tagney hits the ball into the net. A true freshman contributing major for the Whalers, with Anine going back in a 19-16 New Bedford lead. We're getting deep into the second set. Hilltop is still within striking distance, with Anine with a hard-driven ball over the front. Leo had to wait on that one. Dug by De La Rosa. Whalers are going to get a free ball here, and this is going to go quick and right up there, and that's exactly what you expect to see from Janice Leo, especially off of a free ball. That's what she's one of the best at in the state and one of the best to ever wear the Whaler red and white at attacking the ball. Just a couple weeks ago, she set the single game match record for kills in a set, broke Maura Manley's record. 2010 graduate of New Bedford High School, played collegiately at Dartmouth, was Gatorade Player of the Year. So her kill record was set by one of the greatest. So her attacking is no joke here as Durfee calls it second timeout of the set. And the Whalers go to the bench with a 21-16 lead in set 2. As you'll notice on the bench and coaching staff, the Hilltoppers are wearing their Dig Pink Breast Cancer Awareness Month shirts. I'm not sure if Jake Fitzgerald has turned to the crowd, but you see a lot of pink shirts. It's October, and the volleyball community has done an unbelievable job, especially I would say in the last 10 years, of really promoting their Dig Pink Breast Cancer Awareness games. Dig Pink matches are all over the country, from middle school to the highest level collegiately. You see a lot of pink being worn on the volleyball floor in the month of October, as well as you see in football and early season basketball stuff. I think the athletic world has done a heck of a job of promoting cancer awareness, and it's really taken off in volleyball. And today is the annual Dig Pink game for Durfee. There's a big sale out in the foyer. The T-shirts that they wore at school, pink balloons. So usually one of the nicer matches of the year, and what better way to do it against New Bedford, your rival. With Leo out of the timeout, serves into the 6th Streeto with the good receive, pushed out from Resendiz, and the kill from D'Acunha Silva. I definitely would say it is at that moment where I've lost track of the kills from Barbara, so I'm not even going to say if that was her 4th or 5th, because I may have already said that, but with the kill, stops the momentum for Durfee. Kelly Bowie is coaching, so I don't have my stat person with me. And Coach Policino also a stat person. And just as we were saying before, undersized McDonald goes up. A great vertical leaper goes up there and overpowers the Whalers at the front row for another kill. And this is a rotation where the Hilltoppers can make some noise if they can just keep the ball in play and force the Whalers. And a carry off of a very hard serve. And Durfee making some noise with Leo on the bench. This is a rotation, one of the better servers, and Durfee's a strong serving team, so I take back one of the better. She is a solid server. De La Rosa and McDonald in the front, and the ball into the net. Gives the ball back to the Whalers at 22-19. Aggressive is great, and that's exactly what you need to do when facing a great team like New Bedford. Unfortunately, aggressiveness sometimes leads to points as New Bedford goes right up into the air and is handled by Durfee. Hard-driven ball back from DeCunha Silva, rolled, touched by Didi. And McDonald with a solid swing into the 5. Little miscommunication, but hard-driven ball. Resendiz with a very good touch, but did hit the net on that ball. Resendiz is in the front row. Can leave her feet and can go and attack on this rotation. Save the potential for hitting the net. Whalers are up in the air. Tough ball to handle at the attack line. DeCunha Silva with a kill across. And back at 23-20 with Gabby Strito in the back. If the Hilltoppers are going to make some noise, your 3-year captain and 3-year starter and Rock in the back is a good place to start. Strito with her routine in the back. Former basketball player showing off her dribbling skills. Ball's up. And with some top spin into the 5. Handled well by the Whalers. Misjudged at the net. The Hilltoppers get a soft-driven ball out to De La Rosa, who swung and hit the ball outside. Some of the coaching and spectators thought there was a tip. I did not see a tip. The ball was hit outside. Whalers are at game point in set 2, 24-20. With Grace Mitchell back out with a very good driven ball over. Resendiz with a great set. Mistimed by De La Rosa, who pushes it over. DeCunha Silva with the attack from the back row. Great dig by number 2, Morgan Correa. Attacked well by the Whalers. Maya into the 1. We got a nice rally here. And the Hilltoppers come out on top with a good rally. Resendiz back to serve. Fernandez entering the game, play to the front row. Hilltoppers will have a front row of Adriana Fernandez on the right side, Celine Maya in the middle, and Didi De La Rosa on the outside. DeCunha in the 5, Strito in the 6 in the center. Resendiz out of the 1. Resendiz up in the air. Hard-driven ball into the 6. Played decently by the Whalers. A tip over and into the 1, which was touched by the Hilltoppers, but was a point for the Whalers. And the Whalers take set number 2, 25-21, to take a 2-0 lead in the match. We'll be right back at the turn of the teams right here.
Pepper with you. Sid. Yeah, she wants to go Pepper. She asked me to do it. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Too hot. Beth was gonna come tonight. Beth. I texted her, said we were over here. She sent me a text earlier in the week. She wants to do Teamworks again. This week, next week. She wants to do Tuesday nights.
And we're back here for the start of set 3 with New Bedford and Durfee, Big 3 action in volleyball. If you are just tuning in and wondering that Evan Massoud's voice is a little bit different, you're correct. My name is Brendan Kelly. I was stepping in for Evan, who was so kind to ask me if I could do so for a very important match between the Whalers and the Hilltoppers. On a very busy day today for Durfee, as the boys soccer team remained unbeaten, tying New Bedford 2-2 in a game that was originally scheduled for last night, but was had to be rescheduled due to the rain. And Aaron's currently outside setting up and getting ready for a Big 3 action in football as Brockton's in town. So I get to live out kind of a cool little goal that I'd have to do TV. I've been watching sports my entire life, listening to announcers. So hopefully I'm doing a decent job enough for you on tonight against two very good volleyball teams as the Whalers jump out to a quick 1-0 lead. The Whalers, again, 12-1 on the season. Their only loss, a blemish last week to a very good Dartmouth team. Hilltoppers are 7-5 on the season, but have been competitive in every single match that they've played. Leo with a very good block tight at the net here. Tacuna, I think, got away with one. A lot of spin on that ball. With Maya at the net for the roof block and a 1-1 start to the match. Didi De La Rosa, who has had a fine match tonight, does a lot of things right, serves very strong, and gives the Hilltoppers another option of hitting with a nice touch by Maya on the very nice touch on Leo, and Tacuna Silva with a very hard hit ball. Probably the best swing of the night, either team, for a 2-1 lead, and that got the crowd going. That was a great set and a very good hit, and the ball serving to the net for a 2-2 match. Yarolise Concepcion heading back to the service line. She's had a great match, has done a very good job of serving, was instrumental in the Whalers run in set 1. Resendiz to Tacuna Silva, who hits the ball hard out of bounds. That had a lot of zip on it as the Whalers take a 3-2 early set match. What's great to see is the Hilltoppers have gone right at the Whalers and really aren't intimidated. In years past, that ball landed just out of bounds for the point for the Hilltoppers. In years past, these games had a tendency to go quick. The Whalers have just been such a perennial power in the volleyball community, and it's very refreshing to see the Hilltoppers ready to go and matching the intensity of the Whalers. Misplayed ball by Leo, who hits the ball into the net, and we have a 4-3 lead for Durfee. The problem hasn't been the starts. Durfee started strong all 3 sets with Maya ball tossed up, dug by libero Morgan Correa, misplayed for a 5-3. Durfee's done a great job of starting their sets. They've just hit a lull in the middle both times, so hopefully that can be a different story here. Maya with a 4 and non-touch by the Whalers for an ace. That ball had a 12-6 table dropped right out from underneath it, and 6-3 Similar start to set one. You can see the confidence. The confidence has never dwindled for the Hilltoppers. What I've been most impressed about is they've haven't gotten down on themselves and continue to push. They've actually stayed very aggressive. Resendiz quick off the bounce to the Cunha Silva, who's living in that 4 spot. Ball's pushed outside, returned the favor, but she was there to dig it. And net violation for Resendiz as she was trying to go out there and get it. She's in the back row, so she can't leave her feet and attack above the net, so very limited in her options with that. But Hilltop is doing some positive things to start. Resendiz with a tough ball to receive, gives to McDonald, who stays aggressive but hits the net in a 6-5. These are the situations right here where it's unraveled fast for the Hilltoppers. They need to get out of this side out right away. Tough ball. Fernandez with a spin and a carry, and we're at 6-6 right away. Number 16, Nayeli Watts, has done a fine job setting tonight in her first varsity start. Serves the ball deep into the 6, received by Strito. Touch at the net, and a great get by Concepcion. Hilltoppers are attacking full strength and touch off the net. Another great dig, but a carry on a hustle play from Leo, and gives the ball back to the Hilltoppers without any further damage done. Number 4, Haneen, who is the 3rd in a line of siblings to play Durfee volleyball. Her brother Joe was a great setter for me for 4 years, graduating in 2014. One of 3 setters to eclipse the 1,000 assist mark. And her sister Marielle, who is a very good DS, with Streeto hustling back for the play, a kill by Leo and a 7-7 tie. Jesse Haneen's sister Marielle was a very good DS in a graduate 2 years ago, playing in the state tournament. Played a year for me when I was coaching JV. So she comes from a volleyball family, and she's been around the game for a while now at Durfee. As Streeto mishandles one out of bounds, and the ball goes back to Leo in the back row. There's a lot of Durfee volleyball umbrella on the girls' team, where touch at the net from McDonald, and a carry, and the ball goes back to the Hilltoppers. Adriana Fernandez is one of 3 siblings who all played volleyball. Her brother Manny, 2013 graduate of high school, was a all-time great player for me. Played in 4 straight state tournament games. Led the team in kills 2 years in a row with the Cunha Silva into the net. And her sister Allie, who was a great utility player, was a good hitter at the net and can pass the ball in the back. Played for Coach Bullion, also played in the state tournament. Gabby Strito's had a sister who played collegiate volleyball. Resendiz's older sister, Sydney, was a very good player for Coach Bouya. And Cunha Silva had a brother, and that's blocked out of bounds. Another kill for De La Rosa. And Cunha Silva's brother, Caillou, played for me. So the tradition, volleyball tradition, is deep. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody, but a lot of these girls have been around the game the last 10 years, some of them. And now it's their turn to shine, and they're taking the opportunity. It's back-to-back missed serves, ball back to the Whalers. These are the errors, although aggressive, are what the Hilltoppers need to try and limit when going against a top 25 ranked team in the state. When offensively, I think the Hilltoppers have done actually a better job. That's a good ball, way to come back. It takes a little off, dug in the back by Grace Mitchell, excuse me. Didi De La Rosa, cross-court, crushed, but dug and hit out of bounds by Concepcion, excuse me. Done a pretty good job of not butchering names on that, but I guess I'll start in set 3. Hits the ball out of bounds, 10-10, back and forth. Resendiz back. He's had a very good serving game. Very, very solid season from start to date. Really taking a giant leap forward in her understanding of the game. Sends that ball over. Madri with a decently driven ball. Acuna Silver out of the back row. That's the second lineup for Germinal Tangi, a true freshman. Has lined herself up and defended a couple of very big hits from the Hilltoppers. Resendiz up in the air again. Takes a little off this time. Ball is not at the attack line. And no man's land. I call that the fire pit on the boys' side. Coach Booya laughs at me because she's not quite sure why I call it that, but my boys would say the ball landed into the fire pit. No man's land. 6 girls, 6 players, no touches. So back, and the Whalers give it right back.
All right, now use it. You got it back. Let's go.
Neither team is ready to stretch it out. The Whalers, I'm sure, do not want to prolong this match. The Hilltoppers have no choice but to prolong this match. De La Rosa with a hard-driven ball. Passed straight up into the air. Attacked. Touched by Mayette. Acuna Silva takes a little off, and with a very well-placed ball, that ball's right back. Tangi with a nice dig. And nobody home, where Leo, just a very smart player, literally looked at the open spot and just dumped that in for the kill. Very, very smart player, making adjustments on the fly. And Concepcion back to serve up in the air. Cross court, De La Rosa with the touch, high on the outside. Acuna Silva with a nice roll to the 4. Acuna Silva taking a little off. Fernandez with the good get. And a great dig here. Hilltoppers have to transition. Acuna Silva takes a little off again. Referees are letting them play as they should, and Whalers capitalize on a kill and a 1-point lead in the set. Nice little rally, one of the better ones of the day. Both teams transitioning on the offensive end, playing good volleyball. Hilltoppers got to get Concepcion off the back line. She's really had a good game on the service line. Really made it tough for the Hilltoppers to get in their offense. And barely on the out, Whalers were ready to celebrate a ace chant. However, the ball landed out of bounds, and we're 13-13. McDonald back into the front line of McDonald, Acuna Silva, and Fernandez. Mayette will serve before Strito's back in. Touch and kill for Leo. Leo's doing a great job of making her adjustments on the fly. With this being a first-time start for the setter, the continuity obviously does not look there, but she's done a great job of continuing to run the offense and make plays happen. So that's a testament to the system that New Bedford runs and just the versatility of Janice Leo as the ball is hit out of bounds, and a 2-point lead for the Whalers. This is where the Hilltoppers have gotten themselves into a little bit of trouble the last 2 sets. Small runs, momentum runs by the Whalers have kind of taken the Hilltoppers out of their game, as a roll shot by Acuna Silva, and Leo again hitting into the spot where no one is, and the frustration level for the Hilltoppers, because they're not hard shots. It is not the booming hits that were expected from Leo. They're literally just play shots, and they're smart plays. Hilltoppers are trying to double block and put as many hands as they can on there, but they're leaving the spot open, and Leo's finding it. Deep ball that's going to land. I thought it's exactly what I thought. Ball was going to land in. The down ref saw. Landed right on top of the line. And the Whalers are on a little bit of a run here. 17-13 in the 3rd set. And another very, very tough played ball. And a push ball into the back, received by the Whalers. And this might be the kill. Great dig by Strito, but the ball is out of bounds. And the Whalers seem to have all the momentum on their side. And a timeout is called by Coach Kelly Boulia, with the Whalers up 18-13. With the win, the Whalers will be 3-0. If the Whalers are to close this out, as I probably should have said first, the 3-0 record would at the very least guarantee them a co-championship with one more game against Brockton to be played in the Big Three. The Whalers have already clinched a spot in the Division I South Sectional Tournament. The Hilltoppers still 3 wins away with 8-7 to go after today. Both teams, expected and have goals to do well in the tournament. For the Hilltoppers, making the tournament the last 2 years was a great goal after being left out for close to 10 years. Hilltoppers are looking for their 3rd in a row, and I think the expectation this year, and that's talking to some of their players, is yes, they want to make the tournament, but they want to stick around for a little while. And I think with this group here, with a lot of veterans, great leadership, I think that is ultimate goal and an achievable goal that they can do. They're showing that they can play with the best, but they've got to limit mid-game mistakes. As the ball's over, high ball received. DeCunha with a solid hit. They're going to get a free ball. Streeto with a very good pass, and the Hilltoppers are running their offense. McDonald blocked by Leo. They're going again. And DeCunha Silva takes a little off for the kill. Smart at the net when you're going up against such a talented blocker that you have to be a little more strategic and just bombing the ball as hard as you can. 18-14 Whalers deep in the 3rd set. Haneen with a bank shot off the tape. A little bit of a chaotic ball. DeCunha Silva tries to make something happen and hits the ball out of bounds for a 19-14 New Bedford lead. Leo in the back. Solid game. Not her highlight reel game as far as her big booming hits, but watching her play for the last 4 years, very impressed with her overall volleyball IQ, the way she's really turned herself from a highlight reel hitter to a solid volleyball player, and her leadership skills are through the roof. I remember seeing her as a shy freshman and sophomore on both the basketball court and the volleyball court, and just to see her, leading this group right here, it's great to see her maturity, and I wish nothing but the best as a hard-driven ball deep into the 6. Hilltoppers are going to send one over for a free ball. Concepcion with a good hit. Blocked, and Naomi Madri with a touch, but blocked by the Hilltoppers. Down 5. Hilltoppers are going to have to cut into this 5-point deficit real quick if they're going to look to extend this set and put the Whalers on their heels. A dug ball. Hilltoppers a little out of rotation, and a blocked shot gives the point to the Whalers. And Gemino Tanji, true freshman, had a very solid match, especially on the defensive end. Back to the service line for the Whalers. She's up in the air with a very good driven ball to Streeto, handles very well, and an attackable ball that is touched by the Whalers out of bounds for a kill for Didi De La Rosa. And we're at 21-16 with Streeto in the back with an opportunity hopefully to cut into this 5-point deficit. Streeto's played a solid game in the back, as she does almost every match. She's one of those athletes that seems like she's been around forever, and she's just solid all the time and sends a ball, as they speak, out of bounds on an aggressive serve. That's what she does well. And if you're going to attack a good team, you have to attack them being aggressive, and I think that's what the Hilltoppers have done all night. Grace Mitchell, another one of the solid servers all night. Tough driven ball, not received well by the Hilltoppers. And 23-16 Whalers are starting to pull away. As soon as Mitchell gets that ball, she will attack it over the net. Whistle, and here it is. A little bit of a pause this time, but solid ball. Handed straight up in air. Whalers are going to get a free ball with an attack. Driven ball into the 5, defended by D'Acuna Silva. Nice left-handed swing by Didi De La Rosa. Ball was up for a second, but landed. Ball was pushed to the pin. She made a great adjustment on the fly, swung left-handed. Resendiz back to serve. Fernandez in the front row. 23-17. Hilltoppers need to string together a few good rallies, win a few of these points, and anything can happen in this crazy game of volleyball. Resendiz up in the air. Short serve. Fernandez handles that ball very well, which is attacked outside by De La Rosa, but blocked at the net by, I believe, Mandry, who flies under the radar and is a very, very talented player. She gets to the back line with game point for the Whalers, 24-17, New Bedford. Ball's up for her. She's staying on the floor. Short serve handled by Fernandez, and we got a lot of Hilltoppers all at one ball. Decently driven ball, and great touch by Maya. And some miscommunication. That ball is going to land off the pin, and game point for New Bedford. Final score of set 3, 25-17 Durfee. 25-17 New Bedford. With the win, the record for New Bedford in the Big 3 is 3-0, which will guarantee them at least a share of the championship. The record for Durfee in the Big 3 falls to 0-3, with each team having one more game against Brockton. Hilltoppers fall to 7-6 with 7 games left to play. Hilltoppers needing 3 to qualify for the Division I South Tournament. Whalers are already in, playing for seedings. Tonight, again, I'd like to thank everybody who listened. This was a great opportunity for me to kind of live out a childhood dream of calling a game. My first time ever doing so. I hope to get the invite back. I know there's a potential Brockton and Durfee volleyball game that I will be able to do. I thank everybody for listening. I thank Fred TV. I thank Evan Massoud for giving me this opportunity. Both teams played very well. Look forward to seeing them into the future. This game, as always, will be played sometime next week. You can check us out at Fred TV Channel 9 and at Facebook.com/Fred TV Sports for updates and feeds of this game. For Fred TV, Jake Fitzgerald, Evan Massoud, who allowed this opportunity. I'm Brendan Kelly. Thank you for listening, and this is Fred TV Sports.